What is going on, gentlemen? Welcome to today's episode of the Unbreakable Man podcast. We have a very, very special episode for you today. Today, you will actually learn how to transform your subconscious mind using a very simple formula that I call the SAFE formula. It's actually very powerful. When you learn how to use this, you can actually apply this into, I call it the little characters inside. And whether it be a little voice that says, no, you're not worthy, or you can't do that, or you name it, you can apply the SAFE formula to these mindset blocks. That is when you're going to use this. And so you're going to get an incredible amount of value out of this. If you simply just use this, consume it, apply it today, man, like it can absolutely change the way you show up. At the end of the day, it is your thoughts, feelings, and actions that dictate the quality of life that you have. If you are in command of those things, then you will be the man you want to be. It just requires a little bit of work, and you got to know the formula, and this is one of those formulas. So use the SAFE formula, take advantage of it, even share it with people. If you need support, of course, we are always here. You can go to our website, you can log in to our brotherhood of men who are there supporting you to activate you. You can also get the whole course with it, the Becoming an Unbreakable Man course. We have weekly, I call them activation calls. They're there to just get you going, because sometimes we just need support, man. I'll be honest, like the life and times of being a man in modern society it takes a lot of work, dude. Like we got a lot on our shoulders, and I feel that, and that's why the Unbreakable Man even exists, because the pressures of masculinity are on your shoulders to be a good provider, to be a leader, to be a businessman, to be the man you want to be. It just requires work, and you need support. You cannot lone wolf this thing. And that's why we created this entire program. That's why we created the Brotherhood, so that you can be the man you want to be and get the results you're looking for. If you're also looking for a program, and I'm going to share this with you, and I know you can get so much out of this, our 3-day transformation retreat, we call it the Unbreakable Man experience. This thing will change your life. If you show up, I've had guys show up from Germany. I've had guys show up from all over the United States for this thing. It's a 3-day transformation retreat. It is an investment. I will not shy around that. There is a lot that goes into this program. It will change your life. If you get through every evolution, I will challenge you to your core, and you will be the man you want to be. Every guy that has gone through it, it is absolutely completely transformed the way they show up in the world, the way they show up in their family, the way they show up in their business, and they're getting results. In fact, I've had one guy, he was not getting any callbacks for an acting career that he wanted to pursue. All of a sudden, literally within days of him coming back from the retreat, he got a callback, he got a part, now he's moving to LA. Like it's just lessons like that and testimonies like that I'm just so floored about every single time a guy goes through this program. I've had one guy, he texted me, he had the worst quarter 4 of his entire career. Then quarter 1, right after he went through the retreat, this experience, he already did $3.5 million in sales. Like that is outrageous, like just incredible, the results that these guys are getting. So whether you're looking for a breakthrough in your work, whether it be in your money, in your relationship, even in your health, it doesn't matter where that breakthrough is. There is always just a simple thing that you can do. And typically you don't even know what it is until you finally realize, oh, it is me. When you look at the man in the mirror, and the Unbreakable Man experience is there to help you identify that, to help shed some light on that. And you will absolutely get a lot of it. So, of course, go to the website. It's in the description. You can go to unbreakableman.lpages, lpages.co/experience, and you can apply. It does require application because we need to know that you are mentally, physically, and emotionally ready for an event like this. There is an investment, of course, and you will be fed the whole 9, put you up for 3 days. You'll be taken care of. In a beautiful way. So I know you will get an incredible amount of value out of this, as you will just from this episode alone. And if you have already done so, I really appreciate you. But go ahead and give us a 5-star review on iTunes. That helps more people find this. please share these episodes, because my goal is to get the word out for men's health, men's mental health, men's physical health, and just to forge healthy men in this world so that you can be the man you want to be, man. Just like be you. That's what this is all about. So I love you. Enjoy the episode. And as always, stay unbreakable. Let's go. What is up, beautiful humans? This is Dr. Dave Cahotis. I am on a mission to forge strong, heart-centered, and purpose-driven men. This podcast is here to help you stop managing your problems and start breaking free of stress, limiting beliefs, and excuses that stop you from executing at your fullest potential, living with passion, and being the man you want to be. Let's go. If you want to be the man you want to be, you must be emotionally adaptable. I've said it before, I'm going to say it again. If you want the life, the connection, the freedom, the love, the happiness, the joy, you must be emotionally adaptable. Being emotionally adaptable means that you understand the range of emotions, that you are not subject to the emotions you are experiencing, and you are able to move from unconscious living into conscious living. What that means is that you have to put more consciousness into your experience, and your experience is the state of emotions that you experience at any given moment of the day. Now, does that mean that you have to constantly be living in your emotions? The answer is no. You'll be moving through the energies and the day-to-day processes, but you'll start noticing that, man, that doesn't serve me, man. I keep blocking myself in this environment. Maybe it's a conversation you're not having with your boss, and you're just like so fed up with it. Maybe it's a conversation you're not having with your employees, or with your wife, or with your kids, or whatever it is. Maybe it's a conversation you haven't had with yourself. You have to be able to be willing to have those deep conversations. And why I've gone through telling the truth and talking about what emotional adaptability is, because if you want the life you want, you gotta be willing. You gotta be willing to see it, and you gotta be willing to feel it. And if you can see it, and you can feel it, and you can express it, and you can allow yourself to move it and process it, you will be emotionally adaptable, and you will be able to get the results you want. The guys that come through my program get incredible results. They go from having and I'll give an example. One of the guys came through, he's like, dude, we had the worst quarter of our entire business, and he's in the roofing industry. He had one of the worst quarters of his life. He's like, I didn't know which way was up. We were just losing money hand over fist. And within the first quarter, within the first like 10 days of the new year, he was able to generate $3.5 million. Like pretty solid little 10 days, like kicking ass, like hell yeah. Because he went through the process. He did the deep work. Now he went through the experience. Obviously, I was there, and a bunch of other men were there, and we held space and guided him through the path. And he was able to release and let go of all the mindset and all the bullshit that he was carrying. But what he did was able to let go of that stuff. And he became emotionally adaptable. And he realized, oh, he was carrying a lot of shame and guilt around a certain area of his life. And that led him to not make certain decisions in life. And that happens. That happens. It happens to you. But what you'll notice is that you will start to become more aware. And that's what it means to be a king. The king comes online. The king must witness that archetype, that energy. We'll talk about energies and archetypes in another lesson. But what I want you to recognize is that if you want the life, you must bear witness. Everything the light touches is yours, Simba. As Mufasa said it so famously. I guess he said, it is ours, Simba. Everything the light touches is ours. It's our kingdom. And that means that you are responsible for everything the light touches. And what is the light? It's your awareness. Now, if you remember in that story, I love that story. It's such a powerful myth. The Lion King. Even if you don't have kids, you should go watch it. The Lion King shows that everything the light touches, which is the light. What is the light? It's your conscious awareness. You're becoming conscious. And then he said, well, what's over there in the shadows? And Mufasa goes, don't go over there. That's where the hyenas hang out. That's like the Death Valley, right? But what is that representing? That's representing your shadow. It's the parts of you that you've separated yourself from. But what did Simba do? He went into the shadows. and then he experienced some trauma, right? Remember the hyenas and Scar come out, and he experienced that initial trauma, and he felt cut off. He felt separate from his true self. And he goes off and he goes drinking with his buddies, Timon and Pumbaa, and he comes back, and the monkey, right, the baboon, calls him back. And he says, "You see? Time to be who you are. Remember who you are." I'm going deep in the Lion King right now, but this is an important lesson, because what you need to recognize is that if you want to have more of your kingdom, you actually need to shed your light, your conscious awareness into the dark parts of yourself. You need to go there. And then when you come back and you got to face the ordeal, you're just facing yourself. You can't run from yourself. That's the whole point of that story. It's such a good story. And Simba tried to run from himself. He tried to go off drinking with his buddies and pretend like nothing ever happened. I'm just going to go live over here. Hakuna Matata, man. I'm just going to smoke weed and just eat grubs with my buddies. But he was eating grubs. He wasn't who he was. He was not living the life of who he truly was, which is a lion. And in the same sense, maybe you're not living the life of who you truly are. And so the more you go through this work, the more that will resonate. You'll start to realize that, holy shit, that there's power there. There's power in that story. So now we've gotten to the point of the work, the deep work. I want to talk about a formula that you're going to carry into your practice, your deep work practice. I call this the SAFE formula. And the SAFE formula literally just allows your body and mind to feel safe and surrender deeper into your own psyche. Why I bring up the story of the Lion King, everything the light touches is yours, is because you are becoming more consciously aware of the parts of you that you've been running from. And the parts of you that you've been running from, they will rear their head regardless. Whether you like it or not, just by living life, you will be triggered. How do you know where to go first? Dude, just go live life. You'll get pissed off about something. You'll get irritated. You'll start to realize, dude, like this isn't serving me. Ooh, I just felt some nervousness, or ooh, I just felt some shame about that. And you're going to start to be able to take the emotional charge even out of shame. And you're going to be able to be more conscious about it and be like, oh man, I felt some shame there. I'm going to bring that to my practice later. And so you'll start to almost like collect things over the course of the day and you'll be able to bring it forward. Now, for the sake of this course, whether you're listening in the podcast or you're actually in the Becoming an Unbreakable Man course, inside the course, you will be guided through a path. I'm going to kind of stir the pot. I'm going to stir your pot, because in that you will get the most benefit out of it, because there's parts of you that you're running from and parts of your psyche. These are very, very common themes amongst men. And why I work with men is because I understand men, because I am a man and I'm an entrepreneur and I'm a leader. That's why I work with entrepreneurs and leaders quite often. And I understand leadership. I had years of it. I understand how people work. I understand how the psyche works. Why I bring that forward is that if you want to be an incredible entrepreneur, if you want to be an incredible leader, you must have emotional adaptability. If you want to have emotional adaptability, you got to go into the deep work. And so this is the practice you're going to use. Okay. So what's going to look like is you've already gone through if you haven't gone through the last lesson, go back, right? So like today's lesson, we're going to get there. What's happening inside of you in the moment, right? So like, I'm going to kind of be there with you in the moment. And then I'm going to like kind of walk you through what the actual practice is going to look like. Now, here's the thing. When you are doing deep work, it can look like kind of however it needs to look like. There's not any one path that you must do. I'll give an example. If you wanted to just meditate and just use meditation as your practice of deep work, you can absolutely do that, because there's many forms of meditation, by the way. You can meditate and you can just do conscious awareness meditation. You can do focus meditation. You can do transcendental meditation. It's sort of like a lot of different forms of working out, right? There's CrossFit, there's yoga, there's all these things. You can do whatever work you want to do. I highly encourage you do something that is somatic. Somatic is Latin for body. I am a somatic practitioner. I'm more of a coach. I don't like to use the word therapist, because then that brings forward like I'm going to be the one that's going to heal your pains, and I'm not. I'm just going to guide you through it. You are the healer of yourself. But being a somatic practitioner, I use somatic practices, somatic experiencing, to go deeper into the soma, being the body, inside of the vessel, to find the information, the energy. Remember, we talked about this in the last lesson. Emotion is literally information. It carries information. It's energy and motion. It carries a vibration. It's on a vibration, and that vibration carries information, right? The energy of shame might carry information like, I'm not worthy. The energy of joy might carry information like, this is incredible. I am so elated. I am so alive, right? And what you notice in that is that the information itself is just a statement. It's a word. So what we're going to do today is actually carry forward the SAFE formula into our deep work practice. And the SAFE formula looks like this. When you start to feel certain emotions, I want you to catch them. Just like the king coming online, the one that bears witness, that must take responsibility for the kingdom, because if you want to have more amazingness in life, you have to become more conscious. In order to become more conscious, you got to go into the dark parts of your kingdom, which is all the parts of your psyche, right? Parts of you that you've been run from. So what you're going to do is you're going to live your life as you would, right? And again, I'll guide you through some deep work practices, but you're living your life, and let's say your wife pisses you off about something. What you're going to notice is that you're going to be like, man, like I just caught, I'm feeling the sensation I just don't like. I know I don't like it. I don't want to feel it all the time. I'm not going to label it as good or bad. I just, is what it is. What am I telling myself right now? That is the first statement, right? What am I telling myself right now? That's what the S stands for. The S in the SAFE formula stands for statement. What are you telling yourself? What statement am I telling myself? Okay. So then you're going to bring that to your practice. What do you notice in that? What are you feeling in that? So get all the information you can. Notice the sensation of that. Okay. Whether you do the deep work practice right away or not, totally up to you. But just notice that you have to bring that statement. The A stands for acknowledge, accept, right? To compassionately acknowledge that this exists. Compassionately acknowledge that this exists. So to compassionately acknowledge means that you are bearing witness to the sensations that exist around maybe shame, guilt, grief, whatever it is. And you are willing to sense it. You are willing to feel it. You are not labeling it as good or bad. You're not getting wrapped up into it. You're just seeing it for what it is. You're just feeling it. You're allowing yourself to see it. You're compassionately acknowledging it, and courageously, because it takes courage to go within. You must have the warrior within to go deeper into your psyche. So you're acknowledging it. So you're in your work. I'll talk about the actual practices in a second. In the work, I want you to feel it. Feel it, feel it, feel it, feel it. This is we're on the F, right? We got the S, we got the A, we got the F. You're going to feel it. Feel it. Feel it. And forgive. You are forgiving yourself. You're surrendering deeper. Like, forgiveness is not just forgiving like another. It's actually forgiving yourself. And what you're forgiving is, imagine like this energy is as if it's like a ball of energy, a ball of light in your hands, and you're giving it away. You're giving it back into the ether, giving it back to the universe, to infinite space, whatever word is right, the universe, God, creator, spirit, source, one mind, the central sun, whatever word is right. You're just like, here, you take this shit. You take it. I'm not holding that anymore. It's yours. I forgive this. I forgive this. I forgive this. And sometimes I'll actually physically say, I forgive this, and I'll just keep saying it. And I forget, and I feel that more. Feel and forgive. Feel and forgive. I forgive this. I forgive this. I forgive this. Whew, you're going to feel something incredible happen because you're releasing it. Now, what you're also allowing yourself to do, the E in this, is express. Full surrender. Full fucking surrender. When I say full surrender, I mean like if you need to flop and writhe and kick and scream and push and shove in your safe space. I already talked about that. You must set up the container. This is your process in your safe environment. If you want to destroy your own shit, by all means, break your own shit. I've been in retreat centers before where I've been facilitating this work, and we had some pillows, and there was, this is a really funny story. There was a guy that was really working through some rage, and I threw a pillow down in front of him. He just tore it apart, just ripped it in shreds. And I'm like, that's solid. That's exactly it, right? And we ended up paying for it, but it was great. It was a perfect moment. But what you're going to do in that moment is allow yourself to express yourself. Now, obviously, understand your surroundings. You can punch walls, but then you got to fix them. Just know that. You can punch pillows. It's a lot easier. I personally enjoy heavy bags. If you need to cry, cry. If you need to dance, dance. If you need to move, move. Whatever you need to do, allow yourself to go through it. If you don't have a moment in the day and you're like feeling a lot of this energy pent up and you're starting to feel this pressure, then just go for a walk. That's what this can look like. So, we've just got through the SAFE formula. Let me start there. I want to reiterate the SAFE formula, and we're going to talk about like what the actual deep practices can look like. But all I want you to know is that when you step into this container that you've set up for yourself, the physical and psychological container, you allow yourself to bring forward all of the pressure you've been carrying, all the stress, all the hurt, all the blame, all that bullshit, and express it. Express it. And you do it by seeing it, whatever statement you tell yourself, compassionately acknowledging it. You're acknowledging it. Right? You're feeling it. You're starting to feel it. And you forgive it. And you're like, all right, I'm letting this go. Forgiveness is surrender. And what are you surrendering? You're just surrendering that this exists. You're surrendering the sensation. Allow yourself to fucking get weird, like I said. Get weird, man. Just like let it go. Forgive it. And you're not just forgiving yourself, you're surrendering deeper. And if you need to practice the feeling of surrender, then just do that first. Feel that, right? Just feel it and express, right? Vocal, physical, tears, whatever needs to come out of you, right? Like literally, I've been in containers where I'm like, just full in, dude. Full in expression. Let yourself go. Full catharsis. And when you go through, you'll know when it's done. You'll know when it's not done. Don't hold back. Don't hold back. Don't hold back. All the way through. Let it all out into the soma. Move your body, right? Letting it out of the body. So that is the SAFE formula. You are literally going through a process of reclamation, of reclaiming of the parts. You're feeling something that you needed to feel for a long time. You take what you're doing in that moment is that something happened in your life, a trigger. There is an emotional charge to that. That's why you feel a certain way. That's why you feel pissed off or shameful or guilty or whatever it is. You're bringing that to the experience and you're taking the emotional charge out of the experience itself and you're letting the emotional charge go. Boom, gone. It's gone. The emotional charge is no longer existing. And now you have wisdom. Now you can see what the experience was for itself, not what you thought it was. Again, I said this before, but I'm going to say it again. It's not the thing. It's the meaning you put to the thing that creates the experience. And in that, it's the statement you tell yourself, which then stimulates a certain vibration. Again, it's just information. As above, so below. What that means is that what you say to yourself, you're going to feel. As below, so above. What you feel is what you're going to say to yourself. And it's this perpetual cycle. Now, I'm not going to go into the deep psychology just yet. I'll get there later. But just for context, from age 0 to 7, we were in this basically hypnosis, this sleepwalking. We didn't realize we were being programmed by the entire world around us. You probably don't remember every memory from your childhood, and you don't need to. The point is, you're carrying the wisdom of that. I want to say the wisdom, it's the knowledge. And you think you know how the world works. You think, oh, Democrats are this way, or Republicans are this way, or whatever. But like, that's just statements you tell yourself, and you are having an experience. And so therefore, something outside of you is having control over you. If you want to command your life, you want the abundance, the joy, the pleasure, the gratitude, the freedom, like you need to reclaim you. Reclaim all the parts of you. Take command. Take the power back from the world out there. When you put the locus of control and power on the external, you are powerless. If you want power, you take command of the way you experience the world. And the way you experience the world is the statements you tell yourself and the way you feel. That is responsibility. That's what responsibility is. No matter what happens, right? The last of your freedom is the freedom to choose one's own way. That's what Viktor Frankl said in Man's Search for Meaning. Your own way, your own experience. You get to choose. That is the last of your freedoms. You strip everything away from a man, and that's what he gets. And that's all we need. That's what true responsibility is. We'll talk about moving from reaction to responsibility in another lesson, but just know that this is the gig. Now, before I sign off, I want to kind of walk through what these deep practices can look like. In the course, I will have a series of examples of what they can look like, but just know that they can really be anything that gets you into your body. So, as an example, the ice bath, I've already talked about that. You can use an ice bath as one of these ways to get deep. A cold shower. You can use that. That's an example of getting into your body. You can use somatic breath work. This is what I facilitate. If you want to do a daily practice, I wouldn't recommend doing this by yourself. This is what the things that I facilitate. It's much safer in a group environment and also or with a facilitator. But you can do a deep breath work that gets you into your body. You can go on a walk. Something as simple as going on a walk. I'll give an example. Like if you're pissed off during the middle of the day and you're like, dude, I am not productive right now. You just got into a fight with your wife. Go on a walk. Get up. Move your ass. Move. Leave. Go. Do. Be. Right? Go through your process. Go on a walk and be in your own process. Speak out loud instead of screaming and yelling. Like it doesn't mean that you have to go like incredibly outrageous every single time. What it means is that maybe you just need to talk out loud. I just need to speak. I just need to say something. I just need to get this off my chest. I feel better. I'm going to go back. Okay. Then you set the vibe. We'll talk about setting the vibe. That's a whole nother thing. And then you set the vibe and then you can be like, okay, I know what I need to do. All right. Then you can have free will choice. The key is to be emotionally adaptable. Again, don't let the emotions pressurize and tell you how you can feel. Because if you're going on the whims of the universe or the whims of the world, and going by what it says and, the state of gas prices or whatever it is, then you're powerless. You are just absolutely powerless. So again, it can look like many, many different forms. It can look like a workout. I've used this before. Back squats are my favorite, or bench press, just scream it out. All right. What I'm creating is power, or what I'm creating is joy. And you're just like pounding out the weights because you're just like, you're not feeling into yourself. It could be a walk, like I mentioned. It could be just movement, dance. Maybe you just want to just move your body. Whatever you want to do, just flop around. It can look like yoga. You can do movement flows. The point being is I want you to do something somatic. What is a somatic practice? Something that's in your body, not in your head. Like meditation can work. I'm going to say can, but I will tell you this. Somatic practices are going to be the thing. You need somatic practices. Sometimes I'll pound myself. You can probably hear me doing that on my chest. I'll pound my arms. I'll pound my legs. I'll kind of do my practices that way. So you are going deeper into the feeling. And then as it starts to rumble, then you start, oh shit, dude, I've pounded my own legs before. I've pounded my own chest, right? Do a somatic practice that gets you deeper into it. Feel it, feel it, feel it, forgive it. Allow yourself to express it. As you're in it, just ask, just be guided by your own inner wisdom. Be guided by your own inner wisdom. What does that mean? That means just, hey, what's underneath this? What do I need to see? What do I need to feel? What do I need to let go of right now? I'm letting go. I'm here, full surrender. I'm letting go. When you do, you will get through it to the other side. You'll know when you're fully expressed. You'll just feel it. You'll just know. And then you're done. And that's it. Then you're good. And then what you'll do in that moment is you'll have new wisdom. And this is where integration comes in. And I'll talk about this in another lesson. But for right now, I just want you to know, like, you just need to understand how to move the energy. And this is called moving energy, doing the deep work, processing. I'm going to use a lot of terms there. But when you do the deep work, you will be able to get the results you want. You will be emotionally adaptable because you're not letting the energy from the outside world dictate how you feel, or that rather you're not letting the circumstance from the outside world dictate how you feel. You now have free will choice. You have free will choice to make decisions. You can make phone calls that you otherwise weren't, which is maybe you are running low on your cash and you need to call a banker and be like, hey, we need a line of credit. I know we're just in this time frame, we're going to get through it, but I just need a line of credit for now. That's maybe what you need. And you just do that, right? So whatever is right for you, allow yourself to express it, experience it. It's just being willing to experience, to go through it. It's going to feel totally abnormal, it'll even feel unsafe at times. It'll feel like you're going to die, like your ego's like, no, I don't want to let go. But just tell your ego, shh, we got this, right? And when you do, then your ego will finally let go. And you'll let go, and you'll be able to open yourself up to higher states of being. And then we're going to talk about integration in another lesson. So we'll get to that next and how that looks and what that means. Okay. For now, I appreciate you. If you are in the online course, in Becoming an Unbreakable Man course, and you have questions, reach out. If you're listening on podcast, I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Unbreakable Man podcast. If you found this episode valuable, then go ahead and leave a 5-star review explaining how this podcast has helped you so more people can find it. If you want to be a part of the Brotherhood, then click the link in the description below. You can also check out the Unbreakable Man experience if you're ready to face a deeper challenge and change your life for the better in just 3 days. All right, guys. Thanks again for listening. I appreciate you. And as always, stay unbreakable.